The Vex Admiralty mobilizes their main fleets. They call in favors from allied species. They prepare for a war against an enemy they don't understand. Humanity is no longer hiding in the dark between stars. They're coming home to a galaxy that forgot what real war looks like. Vex Capital System and the final confrontation. The Vex Empire gathers its greatest armada at their capital world of Vex Prime. 1,000 ships from across their territory, supported by allied fleets from subject species. Admiral Tor survived the first battle and warns them about human capabilities, but his superiors believe numbers will prevail. Emperor Vex himself takes command, determined to crush these upstart primitives. He broadcasts across the galaxy, claiming humanity will be made an example of what happens to those who challenge Vex supremacy. The human fleet arrives 3 days later. Admiral Stone brings her entire force, every ship that slept in the dark for 500,000 years. To Vex sensors, it looks like barely 100 vessels against their 1,000. Stone opens communications one final time. She addresses not just the Vex, but every species watching across the galaxy. We are humanity. We left this galaxy when our wars threatened to consume everything we loved. We hope to return to a better universe. Instead, we find slavery, genocide, and conquest called normal. Her voice carries the weight of centuries, the sadness of a species that tried to escape war only to find it waiting for them. This ends today. The battle that follows becomes legend. Human ships move through the Vex Armada like angels of death. Their weapons don't just destroy. They demonstrate the difference between soldiers and conquerors. The humans have spent 500,000 years perfecting the art of war. Every ship is crewed by professionals who understand that victory isn't about destruction. It's about breaking your enemy's will to fight. They disable Vex command ships, target their communications, turn their own formations against them. The Vex fleet tears itself apart trying to fight an enemy that seems to be everywhere at once. But the humans don't massacre. When Vex ships surrender, they're spared. When crews abandon ship, they're rescued. Humanity fights with a terrible efficiency, but also with honor the galaxy has forgotten. Emperor Vex makes his last stand aboard his flagship. He faces Admiral Stone in single combat, expecting the elderly human female to be weak. Instead, he faces a veteran of wars that lasted centuries, a woman who has seen the cost of endless conflict. She defeats him not through strength, but through skill earned across lifetimes of battle. The Vex Empire surrenders. Their slave species are freed. Their conquered worlds are given the choice of independence or protection under human leadership. Across the galaxy, species that had hidden in the dark for millennia emerge. They've heard the stories. Humanity has returned, and with them, the concept of honorable war. The humans don't claim an empire. Instead, they become guardians, protecting the weak from the strong, ensuring that never again will entire species face extinction for the crime of being defenseless. Admiral Stone stands on the bridge of the Retribution, looking out at a galaxy beginning to heal. Her crew has earned their rest, but she knows their work is far from over. Humanity came home to find a galaxy that had forgotten what justice looked like. They'd spent 500,000 years learning how to wage perfect war. Now they'll spend the next 500,000 years teaching the galaxy how to wage perfect peace. The sleeping warships have awakened, and with them, hope for a better universe. Throughout the ancient human fleet, the transmission spreads through the sleeping armada like wildfire. Ship after ship comes alive. The Vengeance, a massive dreadnought. The Stormwalker, bristling with weapons unknown to current galactic powers. The Final Stand, a fortress ship built for one purpose. Admiral Stone awakens aboard the flagship Retribution. She's been asleep longer than some civilizations have existed, but her duty remains clear. She reviews the data from Blake's encounter with the Vex. The current galaxy disturbs her. Species enslaved or extinct. Worlds stripped bare. The strong preying on the weak without honor or purpose beyond conquest. It reminds her why humanity left known space all those centuries ago. Humanity had been at war for thousands of years before their great sleep, not with aliens, but with themselves. They had perfected the art of destruction, built weapons that could crack planets, ships that could survive anything. But the cost was too high. So they left. The entire human fleet, millions of soldiers and their families, went into the dark between galaxies. They slept, hoping to wake in a better universe. Instead, they found one that had grown worse. Admiral Stone calls a council of her commanders: General Ross of the Marines, Captain Wells of the Fighter Wings, Commander Price of Special Operations. These are humanity's greatest warriors, preserved across the centuries. They study the Vex Empire's territory, their military capabilities, their treatment of conquered species. The humans are outnumbered millions to one. The Vex have hundreds of worlds, countless ships, vast armies. It doesn't matter. Humanity has something the current galaxy has forgotten: the knowledge of total war. The fleet begins to move for the first time in 500,000 years. Their engines burn with power that makes stars look dim. Their weapons charge with energy that could level continents. The Vex detect the movement and send scouts to investigate. The ancient ships are heading for the edge of Vex space. Intelligence reports suggest the primitives are fleeing. The Vex Admiralty decides to pursue and capture this fleet. They see technology they want to claim, beings they want to enslave. They mobilize their border fleets, confident in their superior numbers. They have no idea they're not chasing prey. They're being led into a trap. Vex border system of Kepler-7. The human fleet emerges from deep space at the edge of Vex territory. Admiral Stone has chosen her target carefully: a mining system with a moderate Vex fleet presence and several enslaved species working the asteroids. The Vex Third Fleet moves to intercept, commanded by Admiral Tor. He brings 200 ships against what appears to be 50 human vessels. The odds seem overwhelming in Vex favor. The Vex open communications, demanding surrender. Admiral Stone responds personally. Her image appears on their screens: an older woman with gray hair and tired eyes. She speaks calmly. "You have 30 minutes to evacuate all slave workers to safe distance. After that, we begin." Admiral Tor laughs. This primitive female thinks 50 ships can threaten his fleet. He refuses, demanding the humans surrender immediately. Stone cuts the transmission. She gives the order humanity has been preparing to give for 500,000 years. Light them up. The human ships don't move like the vessels the Vex know. They shift and turn with impossible grace for their size. Their weapons fire beams of energy that slice through Vex shields like paper. The Retribution opens fire with its main guns. The energy blast vaporizes a Vex heavy cruiser instantly. Across the battle line, human weapons speak with voices of destruction. But it's not just their technology. It's how they fight. The humans move like a pack of wolves, each ship covering another, their attacks coordinated to terrifying perfection. They target engines first, disabling rather than destroying when possible. The enslaved workers watch in amazement as their master's fleet is torn apart by beings they've never seen before. The humans fight with precision and terrible efficiency, but they don't fire on the civilian areas. Admiral Tor tries to retreat, but the humans have surrounded his fleet. His ships are destroyed one by one. In 30 minutes, the Vex Third Fleet ceases to exist. Stone broadcasts to the surviving Vex crew on emergency pods. Her message is simple: tell your empire that humanity has returned. Tell them what you've seen here. Tell them we're coming. The human fleet moves to the next system, leaving behind freed slaves and the wreckage of Vex supremacy. News of the battle spreads through Vex space like a plague. An unknown species has destroyed an entire fleet. The descriptions seem impossible: ships that fight like living things, weapons that ignore modern defenses. The Vex Empire's scout ship Silent Wing drifts through an unexplored sector. Captain Nix leads a small crew searching for new worlds to claim. They detect massive energy readings from what appears to be empty space. As they approach, their sensors reveal something impossible: a vast fleet of ancient ships floating in perfect formation. The vessels are enormous, each one larger than their entire capital ships. The metal is unknown, dark and smooth, showing no signs of age despite clearly being ancient. First Officer Wren studies the readings with growing unease. The ships appear dead, no energy signatures, no life signs, but something feels wrong. The formation is too perfect, too deliberate. These ships weren't abandoned, they're waiting. The crew debates whether to board one of the smaller vessels. Captain Nix decides they must investigate. They dock with what appears to be a patrol ship, though it dwarfs their own vessel. Inside, they find corridors built for bipedal beings slightly smaller than themselves. They discover sleeping pods, thousands of them. Each contains a perfectly preserved being. The aliens are strange: hair on their heads, smooth skin, no natural armor or claws. They look weak, almost fragile. But the technology surrounding them is beyond anything the Vex have seen. Tech specialist Cole tries to access their computers. The moment he connects, the ship awakens. Lights flicker on. The sleeping beings begin to stir. The Vex crew realizes they've triggered something they don't understand. The humans are waking up after 500,000 years of sleep. Commander Blake awakens to alarms and the sound of foreign voices. His crew emerges from their sleep pods, minds sharp despite the centuries of rest. The ship's AI core briefs them quickly. Alien boarders have activated their systems. The humans move with quiet efficiency. They're soldiers, every one of them. Even after 500,000 years, they find the Vex crew in their computer core, looking panicked and confused. First contact is tense. The Vex expect these small, weak-looking creatures to be afraid. Instead, the humans are calm, observant. Blake speaks through the ship's translator. His voice is level, but something in his eyes makes Captain Nix step back. The humans learn about the current state of the galaxy. The Vex Empire rules most of known space. They conquered dozens of species, enslaving some, destroying others. They're used to being the strongest predators in their territory. Blake asks simple questions about their conquests. How many species have they destroyed? How many worlds burned? The Vex answer proudly, expecting to intimidate these primitive beings they've awakened. Instead, something cold settles in Blake's expression. He exchanges glances with his crew. They all wear the same look, the look of professionals who just found out they have work to do. The humans escort the Vex back to their ship politely but firmly. Blake sends a single coded transmission to the rest of the fleet. Across the void, more ships begin to wake up. Engine signatures that have been cold for millennia start to burn again. Captain Nix leaves quickly, reporting to his superiors about the ancient fleet. He describes the humans as primitive, possibly useful as slaves or soldiers. He has no idea what he's just awakened. The Vex Empire prepares to claim this new discovery for themselves.